Hello, hello, Mercs Rain here, episode 19 of the Enigmatica 6 Expert playthrough, and you can see we have gathered a, small amount of latex. There's a little bit more in the arboreal extractor, and today our goal is to make it at least to the tar. I think that's our goal, but I have one additional thing that I'd like to do as well, and that includes going through the silk moth nest and having the ability to make this brilliant fiber so that we can get gold leaf, because gold leaf is going to let us do a bunch of other things too, such as upgrading the tier of our beehives. To start us off today, though, we are going to set our fluid encapsulator down, connect it to power, and then from there we're going to try to make some rubber. Very specifically, if we come back and look at the quest, we need to make dry rubber. In order to make the dry rubber, we can see that we need sulfur and latex in the fluid encapsulator. Let's go ahead and get our latex. And I think I can pull out just a little bit more. Done. Yep. Down on our basement section, we're going to just go ahead and dig out another section just like we've done before. And I have in here a power cable. Oh no, wait, where did it go? I don't know what just happened to our power cable. It looked like it placed, but I can't see it anywhere. Oh no. Oh no. Checking in behind our place here, I can't even see if it got placed anywhere. It looks like we just lost it, which is very strange. I haven't had that happen before. I'm gonna have to make a few more of these. The basic universal cables, go ahead and take a look and see what they take. Basic universal cable is just steel and redstone. So luckily, we have the capability now to make more of those. Hopefully we do not run into a bug like that again. There we are. 8 new ones. Let's try and place this again. Hey, it worked that time. Let's place our fluid encapsulator down, and I also brought with me a pipe and a low extraction module, because we're going to set it up in the same exact way we've done so far with everything else. I guess I do need to configure the top to be the output, and there we go. Now it's in, just like all the other ones. Okay, so we see that we have a whole bunch of space in there. Let's go ahead and just get our tank out. I think if I just right-click on this... Yeah, there we go. There we go. We totally filled it up, and I'm going to put the sulfur in, and we're just going to let this process a little bit. Now that we've created a little bit of this dry rubber, the next step, in order to make our fluid cell, is, well, we're going to need to make some, iron, some glass. This has to be hardened glass. So we're going to need some sand, obsidian, and nether quartz. Easy enough. We've got that. We can make that. We will. The other thing that we need to be able to make is cured rubber. This cured rubber says it needs 2 of the dry rubber and 1 sulfur in our induction smelter. It also has optional catalysts down here, and one of them is just sand. So I don't know if that potentially gives us more, so we're going to try putting in more. We're actually going to throw the sand in to start with, and then our sulfur and our dry rubber. Hopefully, we get more. We'll find out shortly. So we can see that I only got 3, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. When we look at the crafting recipe, it says for every craft of 2 dried rubber, and 1 sulfur, you should get 2 cured rubber. However, we only got 1 from the first craft and 2 from the second craft. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but I do know we're going to have to make at least 1 more. And from this craft, we get 1. Okay, I don't understand that, but we did get as many as we needed. The other thing that we saw that we were going to need was some obsidian. Let's actually let's take a quick look again just to make sure we know how many that we need on this hardened glass. So it looks like 1 obsidian, 1 sand, and 1 nether quartz will make 2 pieces of glass. The other thing I want to see here. Okay, 1 nether quartz to 1 dust. I was kind of hoping you would get 2. Let's go ahead and make more than just 1 craft of this, because immune to wither. I mean, we're not fighting withers yet, but this is going to come in handy, and I bet you this is used in a bunch of other recipes. So let's start with 10. Okay, here we go. Making glass. There it is. We'll let that go. We can see over here we have run out of latex. We'll probably have to make more. You know, with the arboreal extractor is going outside right now. There's probably enough for another bucket's worth. So let's go ahead and fill that up right now. But then we're going to have to let that keep going. We'll pull the rubber out to complete the quest. Oh, actually, that wasn't a quest. We just need it for the fuel cell. Okay. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves this right now. We need some copper plates and bronze gears. Again, let's see what we got for bronze. We'll take that downstairs just as we had done before. Let's check our copper. Ah, just shy. I'll tell you, I'm so happy that we made this multi-servo press. Okay, I think we'll probably have everything to make it. Looks like we do. Fluid cell frame obtained, and now let's get our fluid cell. And in fact, I think we're going to have everything but this redstone servo, so I'm just going to make that real quick. And request. Perfect. So this thing can hold 32 buckets worth of liquid. So it seems to me like it's just a larger, one of these. Actually, it's the same size. The basic fluid tank is also 32 buckets. I do know that this is going to be used in a bunch of recipes, especially for like Powa, it looks like. So we'll, I'm sure, be making more of these in our future. All right, we even completed a separate quest for this fluid cell. So what's neat about these is it looks like they can be upgraded and adjusted through different augments. So we might actually be using these in the world at some point once we're dealing a lot with more fluids. But we also got the expanded tank construction augment right away. So that's kind of neat. Tank capacity 4x. So that will actually give us a lot more storage. But for now, we don't need it. What we do need is some bee nests. Now, let's take a quick look at what we're doing next. That's going to be the silk moths. Silk moths, okay, we have to go to the land of a tomb, right? And it does say that the energies that remain in this land will transmute a nest of bees into a nest of silk moths. So I don't know what that means. Can they be resourceful bees or do they have to be vanilla bees? I don't know. It also says use it to transmute the nest. Do we have to do something specific to transmute it, or will simply placing it in the world turn it into a silk moth nest? I'm hoping for that one. And then also it says it's going to just keep making moths, and then we kill them to get their silk, which is what we need to do. However, right, it tells us, be warned, silk moths are an invasive species, and they will spread rapidly. So we're going to want to make sure we build a box. And again, remember the reason that we want the silk moths is so we can make brilliant fiber. Brilliant fiber is going to be the sunmetal blend, which we have made in the past, with silk fiber in an enchanting apparatus using source. And then I believe we just use this brilliant fiber on tree leaves and it'll spread and then we can get the gold leaf. But we'll figure that out once we get a little closer to it. In the meantime, I think we're going to want to pull out some cobblestone just for building our box. We also need a very small sort of safety area in a tomb since it is so dangerous there. Let's go ahead and get like 320 of this cobblestone. I'm hoping that's going to be good enough. And we are going to use our building gadget when we get there. Look at this. Look what we found. Our basic universal cable that we lost is somehow in the stonecutter in our backpack. I don't know how that got there. We right-clicked. It disappeared. But we found it. Hooray. Okay, and so this is how we're going to use our building gadget just to start off with. We are going to set it into, you know, and there's something else on G that's like making me sort of crouch, and I don't like it. But Shift G is my button to open this grid. So we're going to use the vertical wall, and I think we're going to set it to a range of 5. And what that means, if I could stand up, is we're going to get a wall that should be 5 wide, and it looks like it should only be 3 tall. We'll just kind of double check it outside. No, that does actually make it 5 wide and 5 tall. So let's go ahead and come back in here and just make it a range of 3. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll just be able to like place, and then turn and place real quick and get ourselves a little box. We'll make it fancy. Maybe not in this episode, but we'll make it fancy at some point. We have our spruce bee nests. Now we just need some bees. I do have a few extra bees over here. I'm kind of thinking these forest bees, since we have a lot of them and they're easy to find, and we can always breed more with just wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab these 2 and we're going to go. We're going to go into a tomb. Hopefully we live. See you there. Into the portal we go. Alright, this is a great spot. Let's start building our walls. Something like this, probably. Look, we've already got enemies trying to get to us. Alright, this is, I think, a fairly safe-looking spot, just like this here. Okay, we're going to give ourselves some stairs eventually back up here, but for the time being, I think we're just going to put some blocks in that we can jump up. So this will let us get back in. We're probably going to want a roof as well. I'm actually kind of thinking, like, right here we come over, and we're going to want a separate room for our silk nest, I guess, here. So let's go ahead and set up another little section, I think kind of like this. Okay, we have a little section here, and then we're going to build off this way to make our way for the bees. The bees that become moths, of course. I don't know how much space they need. I don't know if they need flowers like bees do, but we're going to make it pretty simple. My favorite mode on the building gadget, by the way, is Build-A-Me. Aha, we got nomads. Get out of here. The reason why this is my favorite mode is because you can very easily just, like, place things down. Got him. Ooh, I want those. Looks like some kind of coins, maybe? And, of course, my inventory is quite full. There we go. Okay, we're making our little tiny base of operations here. I'm going to put a door there. I think we're going to put a door here, and we're going to put another door on this side, just in case the moths sort of get through. They're not, like, free. Next, I want to clear out just a little bit of the sand. So we'll do that. Okay, this feels all right to me. So we're going to put one nest here, and we're going to put another nest there. And I think we hope that one bee goes there. And we hope that the other one goes here. So they're going to fly around a little bit, and we'll see what happens, I guess. If they don't do anything, I'll probably bring some flowers in. And again, if nothing happens after that, then I might have to bring vanilla bees in. I'm going to let them go a bit, and then we'll see what happens. I think that this might have been a little bit of a bust. Let me explain. I assumed placing bees down here would kind of get the silk moths going, and you might still need to have brought, you know, overworld bees into a tub. But I did find that there is a crafting recipe for the silk moth nest itself. This uses the enchanting apparatus, and we have almost everything required. Worms, we have worms, phytogrow, and string we have, and we can also make the bee's nest as we have in the background here. What we don't have are these nebu drops or the brilliant fiber. Well, we want the silk moths in order to make brilliant fiber, so I don't think there's another way to get this unless you can find it in chests in the world. So that leaves us with the nebu drops. Nebu drops are from a tomb. They're from this zone, right? There are different ways. This needs a tier 5. I mean, there are different ways to make it, but I think you can find the ore by mining it, and you might also be able to find it in chests here. Let's just take a quick look, right? So we can see there is nebu ore. So a little bit of a bust in the fact that I don't think we can get these silk moths today without doing some tomb exploration. And I'll tell you, I'm not necessarily ready to do that tomb exploration right now. So we're going to hop back into the overworld, and we'll come back to this and probably do a whole tomb episode where we explore around, probably die a bunch, but maybe find some loot, maybe find a pyramid, all of that stuff. But for now, back to the overworld, where it's nighttime, you know, as it normally is. We'll just fly away. Look at that creeper! Ah! So I came over into our bees, and I used our sooty honeycomb in the manual centrifuge. They give you coal chunks, and they have a chance to give you bitumen chunks, and we need those bitumen chunks for the tar. When we make our centrifugal separator, we're going to use it right here in order to get tar. I don't know if this tar is always an output, but hopefully it's usually an output. How about that? But let me show you one of the problems, which you might notice already, with the current design of the bee farm. We have a honeycomb just sitting here. So I'm going to pick it up. It's a skeleton honeycomb. Well, that skeleton honeycomb actually came from down below. But it turns out if anything that comes up and lands on this level right here cannot be picked up. So we can see that over here, when items pop out, and you know, I'll drop one right now, it will pick it up. There it goes. We have in the floor, so at this level right here, just on the other side of the wall, we've got one of those factory hoppers. We also have one of the factory hoppers over here, and we can even see it, whoops, through the wall. There it is, factory hopper, but it's on this level. They only can pick up one level above them. I think it's just one anyways. So if it fell and there was a block here, and so it fell on top, it would pick it up. And I think I can quickly demonstrate that. Let me go ahead and just take a coal chunk. Actually, a cobblestone. And if I drop it, well, if I drop it right, if I could make it. If I drop it right there, it should get picked up. See, it did. It disappeared. So this one over here picked it up. But when it drops here, it cannot. Unfortunately, we have all this redstone. Now, wait a second. Did that really just get picked up? What happened here? I'll tell you, I'm a little confused. It looked like that one got picked up. However, this one is certainly not being picked up. I don't know if it has something to do if it's landing on top of the redstone itself versus an empty block, an empty portion of the block. I don't know. All I know is every time I come in here, I usually see a honeycomb sitting on top of this ledge. So we have maybe a few options. We could move the whole floor up one, and that might help us out. But I'm not sold on that yet. And one thing that we are going to be getting into at some point, if I scroll down all the way to the Resourceful Beast section, are apiaries. So tier 1 apiary, 2, 3, and a 4, right? An apiary, I think, is going to be a much larger solve for bees as a whole, outside of what we already have. But in order to get there, I mean, we might actually be able to make this today. No, because we need to be able to make the hive upgrades, and unfortunately we cannot make the tier 1 hive upgrade without the gold powder. And this gold powder is why I wanted to get the gold leaf from the silk moths. So it's still going to be in our near future getting those silk moths going. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our centrifugal separator. So this beast here needs some Constantin gears, some redstone flux coil. This is stuff we've made before. A block of lead we haven't made before, but not hard to make. This aluminum just needs aluminum. Again, the aluminum fence just needs aluminum. We have the fluid cell from the previous craft. What we don't have is a turntable. This turntable, again, is stuff we've made before. I even think we've made the copper coil block before with LV wire coils. Now look, we need 4 of these copper wires to make 4 coils, and we're going to need 8 total. Our options are to use 2 copper plates to get 2 wires, or using our multi-servo press, 1 plate to get 4 wires, doubling our output. So we're going to make ourselves a wire plate mold, and I already have our 3 steel plates. So now we just need this metal plate for the mold of wire. Click, obtained. Now we'll be able to use that downstairs. We'll go ahead and grab some copper, and you know, I think I'm actually going to grab 4. It's more than we need, but hopefully that will hold us off from needing more copper wire in a short period of time. We're also going to set up the location for our next machine. We don't have it yet, but we can at least get it going. There's our power cable. Check it out. Check it out. We also know that we needed 2 of those Constantin gears, so let's go ahead and get ourselves 8 of the Constantin. And we can come back here and use our gear press. Make our lead block. Okay, now we need to make 2 of these aluminum wall mounts. We'll see. I don't know if I've got aluminum rods ready. We did. How about that? That's perfect. 1 and 2. And we just need 1 aluminum fence. And you know, maybe we've made those in the past. Let's just take a quick look. No, aluminum fence is still required. That's fine. We even had more rods. Perfect. There we go. Now we need to make the turntable. We're going to need to make our wires. 1, 2. Here's our copper coil block. Do we have the rest of the materials ready? It looks like we do. A turntable is now in our possession and in the system. We should now be able to make our centrifugal separator. Boom, look at that, look at that. We'll come back into our quest log and just take a look at it. We're making great progress today. I think tar is in our very near future. Let's go ahead and get this set up down here. We're going to want it right there. It's going to start powering up. We can see our system's holding out, right? We never seem to run out of energy. I don't know where this water came from. That's very strange. I don't know where that came from. We'll leave it there for now. It's not harming anything. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw our bitumen chunks in here. Will we get a tar on each one, or is it just a chance? We got a tar. Hopefully you get a tar on every single one. Okay, so what we don't have yet is we don't have the top set for an output. And you know, it can only output items. It can't output the liquid at this point. But we're going to need to get another pipe and module to pull items out, but that's okay. We can get that shortly. Let's actually just grab this tar to start with. Tar obtained. Still no quest rewards. Obsidian. Interesting that obsidian is this far down, but let's go ahead and just get the quest knocked out. Obsidian obtained. The next thing is superheated steel, right? How do we make the superheated steel? Well, this says exploding items. You know, I really don't want to explode the item if I don't have to. Can we make this another way? No. Okay, so we need blocks of steel, or we could do the ingots. We need a bunch of tar, and we're going to need a bunch of obsidian. So we have achieved our goal of the episode, and that was to make tar, which is great. So, why did we want to make the tar? Well, I mean, we just looked at superheated steel, and that is something that we absolutely need to make. However, that's not the reason why we made the tar. If you remember, from the previous episode, we had looked into the tar. Tar has mixing to make dielectric paste, which dielectric paste is needed for a lot of power recipes, which is great because we're going to need to get power sorted so we can get a power system kind of up and going, more than what we have down in the basement. But the other thing that it would let us do is make a coarse lapis lazuli compound in our mixer, which would let us make the smoldering lapis lazuli compound in the blast furnace, which then we could use the sequenced assembly to finally get kiln bricks, and the kiln bricks would let us make a kiln, an alloy kiln. So if I come back in here and go to computer science, our alloy kiln is right here in the quest log. So we were making our way here. We might continue this in our next episode, or we might make a small deviation to go into the land of a tomb, brave the really terrible sands, and hopefully come out of there with some loot and maybe some silk moths. One of those two paths is in our future. This is Merc Serene and my little tiny pet bee saying thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Merc Serene signing off.